Hello, Professor Moore and classmates. My name is Matthew Morris, and today I'll be talking about Dr. Albert Ellis and the ABCs of Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy. Dr. Albert Ellis is credited with introducing Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy, better known as REBT, in 1955. So, have you ever been cut off in traffic by a racing driver? So, chances are, driving in the DMV area, this has happened. And what was your reaction when it did happen? Did you get scared, get angry, beat the horn, cuss them out, maybe feel like pulling up around them and cutting them back off? And would you like to be able to change your reaction to this? Just last week in Alexandria, in a similar situation, a woman got cut off and repassed a man, and then he shot her 3 times. So Dr. Albert Ellis's ABCs help us to challenge our beliefs about a situation, and it's something that I personally found to be very useful in my life. So the ABCs are: A is our activating event, B is our belief, C is our consequence, D is our new belief, and E would be our new consequence. Frequently, people want to blame people, places, things, or situations for their outcomes or their consequences. And I will now explain how this theory works by giving an example from a real client encounter that I had. The client told me about his girlfriend and how she made him mad because she did not answer his phone call. The client said the girlfriend not answering his phone, in this example, would be our activating event. The client told me that this activating event, her not answering the phone, ultimately caused his consequence, him getting mad. So he said if she just answered the phone, then he wouldn't have gotten mad. The ABCs teach us that it's our belief about the situation rather than the actual event that causes our outcomes. So let's examine how the role that these beliefs play in affecting our outcomes. Was the client truly mad that she didn't answer the phone, and what was his underlying beliefs? So I asked the client to give me some examples as to why he thought she didn't answer the phone. And he responded that she was out with her friends, she knew I was calling and didn't answer, maybe she was with another guy, didn't she know that I need to talk to her right now? So these are all examples of the belief causing the client to be upset. I then asked the client if there could be other possibilities as to why she didn't answer the phone. Perhaps she was in a bad signal area, or didn't even know the phone rang, or the battery died, or worse, maybe she was in an emergency situation. So these are all examples of D, our new belief. The client did agree with me that these scenarios were all just as likely as the ones that he had thought of, and that if it had been one of these, he maybe wouldn't have gotten mad. He did say that he might have been bummed out or upset that she didn't answer, maybe even worried, but probably not mad. So these would be example of our new consequences. This is where the 5 rules of rational thinking come into play. So, and they can ultimately help us change our consequences. So, number 1, is this thought based on objective fact and reality? Number 2, is this thought helping to protect me from probable harm? Number 3, is this thought that's helping me to achieve my short and long-term goals? Number 4, is this thought helping to keep me out of conflict with others? And number 5, is this thought helping me to feel the way I'd like to feel in life? So if you've answered no to any of those 3 questions, then it's quite possible you're having an irrational thought and you can challenge your beliefs about the situation. In the example I gave you with the client, we can conclude that the client was able to see it was not the activating event, his girlfriend not answering the phone, but rather his belief that she was with another guy or being disrespectful that was ultimately causing his consequence of getting mad. Now let's revisit our situation where we were cut off in traffic. What if you learned that the driver had a sick child in their car and were rushing to get to the emergency room? Or perhaps their boss had told them, next time you're late for work, you're getting fired, and he's got a family and 6 kids to support. Or maybe even something as simple as, you know what, he cut me off and he's a jerk, but ultimately I'm just going to be 2 seconds later for wherever I'm going, so it's really no big deal. So by changing our perceptions about situations, we can then change our realities. So thank you very much for listening to me today, and now I would like to answer any of your questions.